Welcome everybody to the next edition of the Stay on Course podcast. Today, I'm joined with Dr. H.C. Lisa Ray, a veteran ghostwriter, publisher, and media strategist who helps leaders turn lived experience into legacy books. She is the founder of Golden Ray Publishing and works extensively in the special forces and military legacy space. Her work is represented in National SEAL museums, and she serves as the media director for TEDx Meisner Park, and it's happening on February 4th. The event is called Disruption in the Age of AI. Welcome, Lisa Ray, to the Stay on Course podcast. I'm super excited to have you here today.
Julie, I love your energy and it's so great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
I love it. I love it. Well, Lisa, before we get started, I ask all of my guests, what is your favorite food?
I would have to say that I love Mediterranean food, but I'm from Newport, Rhode Island originally, and so
Mm,
I have to say a lobster roll is
yes.
it for me.
Yes. You are my people. Like I can eat Greek food or anything with Greek anything every single day of the
Same.
week, and I'm a lobster girl too.
Oof. I like them warmed up. I like them even cold and chopped up. I like it. As long as I'm in Newport in the summer having my lobster roll, that's where I feel the most at home.
I love that. That's amazing. Thank you. Thank you for bringing that to the audience because
Yeah,
everybody needs to know this. Lobster is the best food. Well,
agree.
well, today we're going to be talking about creating visibility for your brand, and you've been doing a lot of work with book writers and influencers, and so I'm super excited to learn from you today, Lisa.
It's wonderful being here. I'm a ghostwriter of 20 years and I'm an accidental publicist, actually. I published years ago and there were assets that I never received. And so my background inside of marketing and branding has lent itself towards my talent of storytelling. And so I've combined the two and I have opened the company Golden Ray Publishing last year. And we have 11 books coming out before the
My
month of
gosh.
June through publishing. And so we've had a lot of really influential people step up to the plate.
Wow. 11 books, that's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books and it's a lot of hours. So I'm putting in 6 days a week right now, and it feels great. I absolutely love what I do.
Yeah.
And everybody has a story. And I always question this: what is yours? And that's where we begin.
I love that. I love that. Well, let's talk a little bit about TEDx because I know that's coming up really soon. Tell us what the red dot taught you the most that people might misunderstand.
Well, it's when you are a TED speaker, you have to be able to understand that you are coming to the platform so that you can really understand that clarity beats charisma every time. And so when you have a message that you want to be able to deliver inside of a platform that's global, it's ideas worth sharing. And so it's an honor to be able to interview those on the red dot, the red carpet, the step and repeat at these events so that we can really highlight their mission and their vision and their brand and really get people to understand why it is that this speaker is making impact at this time.
Yeah. You know, I teach a little bit about getting on a TEDx stage or getting on any stage, and I did a TEDx.
Yes.
And the thing that I thought was so interesting is when we went for training, they said, "What is the gift you're giving your audience? What is the gift that you're giving?" Almost like a transference, like you're actually picking up this thing and you're giving them a gift. So I thought that was really important. And then when I frame it out to people that are getting on the TEDx stage, I tell them, okay, so think about this. If you had 5 minutes to live and there was one talk you were going to give, what would you want to say? What is that talk? And that question sparks this legacy piece, right? The piece that you love to talk about. It's that what is the thing that I'm going to leave you right now in the last 5 minutes of my life or whatever, because this is a huge stage you're getting on. And how does that speak to my brand? How does that message speak to my absolute brand that I have?
I agree with you. I believe that the red dot is not about performance, it's about responsibility. And
Mm.
so it's not a spotlight, right? It's really when you want to step onto that stage, and you're borrowing that trust from the audience, right? That they are going to come into your space. And so your message has to be clean, and it has to be honest, and it has to be grounded with your experience.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, it is the responsibility that you're you're sharing that idea that could be the foundation of everything you build in your business after that.
Well, it's that media exposure. It's just because someone's in the public, it doesn't mean that they're in the position to shape culture. And so when you are someone who steps onto that TED stage, you want to be able to do it with integrity because it's amplification, right? And so you don't want to ever damage your reputation. You want to be completely prepared inside of what it is that you are sharing, inside of ideas worth sharing, known as
Mm,
TED.
I love that. So, what would you tell somebody that is building a personal brand today? What is the biggest mistake they might be making?
Well, I think that when you are somebody who has a brand, sometimes people come to the the platform and they have not protected their work. They rush ahead out with the message until their brand is ready to be seen. So, working with professionals that are shaping your message and making sure that your message is protected, whether it's through publication, you want to be able to understand that you have copyright to your message, that there's trademarks that need to be put in. And I think that people get very excited about new ideas, but it's that preparation behind the scenes that is going to keep your message relevant for generations to come.
And what do you think that separates their ideas from actually moving culture?
Well, it's interesting because I find that it's the originality of what it is that you're bringing, right? So for me, I've been able to scale brands by being able to understand that that structure doesn't stifle the creativity, it protects it. And so I need for people who want to be able to have creativity long term, for them to be able to respect their own boundaries and timelines and things like being able to house your message inside of a container, right? Making sure that you have the team that's behind you. It's really, these boundaries don't block your creativity, they give it somewhere to land.
Mm, I love that. Thank you. So let's talk about legacy a little bit. I know that you have my father's book sitting there with you.
Right here. And I refer to it often when I'm thinking about what it is that I would like to cook for family and friends that feel special.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so nice.
Yes, it was created with such care, and I love that. Quite honestly, it's how you and I started a friendship. I
I
met you
know.
at an event here in South Florida. I love supporting South Florida events and charity. And I was working inside of that event, inside a publisher capacity. And you breezed by my table. And I think that you had one book in the car. And I
That's
was
it.
the lucky recipient. Stay
And you
on
haven't.
course.
Right, right. So, and Lisa, I learned the lesson of legacy when I wrote my father's book because 4 months before he passed away, he left me his life story. We're coming up on the 10-year anniversary of my dad's passing, and I want to celebrate that. Actually, on February 12th, I'm going to do a Zoom call, Lisa. Maybe you can join us for that. I would love that.
Exciting.
Let's do that. And the thing is that I learned the lesson of legacy when I was writing the last chapter of my father's book. I really learned that, what he had left me in this book and what he left me and what he taught me was the legacy that he was leaving. And as he left this earth, I had another revelation that, like, although my dad is not here anymore, I literally carry his DNA and I carry his life in and legacy into every moment of who I am and what I do. And so let's talk about legacy just for a minute, because I know that you work with a lot of like book writers that are literally leaving legacy as we speak.
Well, my work inside of our special operations Navy SEALs is where I find the most joy because I'm a super patriot. And so for me to be able to tell stories of legacy that helped to shape our special forces through SEAL Team One, Moy Bell, the only easy day was yesterday. I was approached by Terry Moy, SEAL Team One Master Chief Terry Moy. He was a BUDS instructor, first phase. He graduated those like Jesse Ventura, and he went on to work with NASA on capsule recovery for Apollo 11.
Wow.
And so these are the people that have written inside of the book. His family got ignited. He was the BUDS instructor that put in the ship bell that they ring 3 times to opt out of being a Navy SEAL. It's still in service today, that ship
Wow.
bell. They also ring it every year to commemorate any of our Navy SEALs that have fallen during that
Mm.
year at the beach. And then there's a swim, and the ashes are put out to sea in the San Diego Bay. Through this relationship that I have built inside of the SEAL museums, both in Fort Pierce and in San Diego, I've been now hired to write the book for Pete Carolyn. We know Pete Carolyn's work. He's our #1 military muralist. In his works are located inside of the Pentagon, the White House, both SEAL museums, and he had drawings created for the trident that every Navy SEAL wears once they graduate BUDS. So his foundation, the Patriot SEAL Heritage Foundation, has hired me to write his book, which I have titled The Painted Frog. And this will come out in this summer in August of 2026 during the reunion. And so when people ask me to come on to projects to write about legacy, I like to remind them that success is knowing the stories that help to steward and outlive the spotlight. And so when you are telling a story of legacy, it has to be handled with care because it's not about putting myself forward. It's about building trust with those who have a story to share. And
Mm.
so the space that I find myself in as a legacy ghostwriter and now publisher enables me to be able to look at brands and create these recipes for success for them.
Mm. I love that. If you were to think of three ingredients for success for these authors, what would you want to say, or what would you tell them?
I would think that you would step to these projects with integrity and truth, as well as some level of vulnerability, so that
Mm.
your legacy is told from your first person perspective.
Yeah.
And so I have a lot of people who come to me who will say, I would like to leave this for my family once I'm gone. And we're talking about people who have been inside of the FBI, people who are now coming to me through my SEAL communities that want to be able to leave their word, not necessarily stepping into the spotlight, but rather your words are what you can leave for the generations that
Yes.
need to be able to learn and never forget the history.
I love that. I mean, it's so cool that even my father's story, I can give it to his grandchildren who didn't really get to know him the way that I knew him, and their children will get to do that, and their children. So
And
my
Julie, I feel like I've gotten to know him by the writings that you have done in here and the forward that you presented. And so this becomes a part of your family's walk through generations. What do they say? You're 3 generations away from everyone in your own family forgetting your name. And
Yeah.
so when you have something written from your first person perspective, this
Yes.
is your chance to step into that stewardship for your family.
It's so important. And you know, it's interesting. My father didn't just leave the book, he left me the platform also. He basically said to me 2 weeks before he became nonverbal, he said, Julie, it's time now. I'm passing it to you. I'm passing the torch to you, he said to me. And he said, now it's your responsibility to make sure everyone's okay, to watch after my grandchildren, my nephews, he expected me to be his replacement. And I was
Well,
like,
in a lot
Dad,
of ways, you really have, because what you have done is you've made sure that your daughter and that your husband and that your viewing audience know exactly who Ennio Riga is, right? We can pick up this book and we can learn his why,
yeah, so
his
cool.
where, his how. And so at any moment, also, when you are missing him most, you can dive back into those recipes and that food and you can warm your soul. And it is the same whether you are in military, if you are a CEO who has built systems, if you are someone who wants to take corporate spaces and be seen as an expert with your book. Many people come into publishing and I help guide them with their book as their lead generator. It is your most successful piece of marketing if handled correctly.
I love that. All right. So I want to do a rapid fire session right now. We're going to do some rapid fire questions. And then I want to know like what we're doing at TEDx because I'm totally going to be there and I want to get to just like review that and then we're off to the races. So
Okay,
let's
let's
we're
go.
we'll do the rapid fire. So tell me about success in one sentence.
To me, success is when your reputation speaks before you even enter the room.
What is the biggest mistake new authors make?
I feel like they rush to publish before they've protected their story or they've clarified the message.
Okay. Why military legacy work?
Because service deserves accuracy and restraint and respect, not spectacle.
Okay. What separates the pros from the amateurs?
I believe that professionals build systems. Amateurs rely on talent and hope.
Oh, okay. What's the best advice you ever received?
Guard the work, and the work will guard you.
What does TEDx really teach?
That clarity beats charisma every time.
What's your superpower?
Earning the trust in rooms where stories actually matter.
And what is one non negotiable in publishing?
I think it's integrity because once it's compromised, the book fails before it's even read. And I would follow that up closely with trust because without trust with your client, there's nothing.
Okay. I love this. Thank you so much. I love the speed
Those were
round.
fun.
Yeah, it's totally fun. It's totally fun. It's 11:11 a.m. So I don't know what that
Yeah.
means. That's so cool. All right. So February 4th, is it?
Yes, at Meisner Park and Meisner Studios, we are being led by Cynthia Elliott. She is the licensed owner of TEDx Meisner Boulevard, which is officially what this program is called. And we are offering up speakers inside such a beautiful space. We're also having Dr. Shivani Gupta there. She's a speaker and she'll be releasing her book through Hay House. And we are inviting as many in the community of South Florida and beyond to come and join us to talk about this disruption in the age of AI. And so we have speakers that are coming on to the platform who are going to be speaking about how it is that you maintain your authenticity as well as your space inside of this time shift, if you will. It almost feels as though when America Online came on, remember the little man that ran across your computer
Yeah.
screen? Right? I remember I was in high school. I graduated the class of 91. I love my people, and it's an amazing time period to be a Gen Xer. to have that experience of what life was like prior to coming on online and now inside of AI, it's not going anywhere.
Oh
And
my
so being
gosh.
able to utilize what it is that will help to move your brand and your mission and your vision forward is what I suggest for anyone in your listening audience to take a deep dive into.
Love it. Sorry, when you said 91, I got excited.
Isn't that exciting?
I
You as
grad
well? Are
I
you a
graduated in
91er?
yes. I graduated in 91. Yes. All right. So, where can my audience find out all about you?
You can go and visit my site, which is goldenraybooks.com. If you scroll to the bottom, there's a link there and a green button that says free Zoom. Click it, and we'll be able to meet on a Zoom so I can learn more about you and understand if I'm even able to help you, if you're further along than what you think, or how it is that we can structure you to be able to turn the dial forward for yourself in 2026.
That's it, guys. Thank you so much, Lisa, for being a guest on the Stand Course podcast.
This was a lot of fun, Julie. I knew it would be.
Awesome. Have a great day, everyone.